Amy Locane left the courthouse in Somerville minutes after the judge resentenced her. She served a full sentence of about 3 years, but unless she is saved by appeal, she will serve more.
Ever wondered about the wilder side of your favorite female celebrities? Well, today's video is going to unveil all the secrets. We're counting down the top 30 female celebs who've had some unexpected run-ins with the law and spent time behind bars. Trust me, this list is as fascinating as it gets. So stay tuned.
All that mattered 24 years ago today. That's the answer. Zaja Gabor was arrested for hitting the officer who pulled her over in a Rolls Royce.
Number 30, Zaja Gabor. Known for her colorful personality and celebrated life, Zaja Gabor passed away on December 18th at the age of 99, leaving behind a legacy that's as unique as it is filled with drama and scandal. Gabor, born in Budapest, was a trendsetter, a pioneer in the world of celebrity fame. Famous for being famous, she was a great aunt to none other than Paris Hilton and had the extraordinary distinction of walking down the aisle 9 times. But our focus today is on a particular episode that landed her in the legal spotlight. Zaja, dressed in a black evening jacket with fur trim, found herself at the center of a courtroom spectacle. Convicted on September 29th, she faced charges of slapping Officer Paul Kramer. The incident unfolded on June 14th during a routine traffic stop prompted by an expired registration tag. The 3-week trial was nothing short of a circus, with the trial judge accusing Gabor of milking the case for publicity. Her sentence? A 3-day term, coupled with 120 hours of community service, almost $13,000 in fines, and even a psychiatric evaluation. What led to this verdict? Well, it involved more than just a slap on the wrist. Gabor was found guilty of slapping Officer Kramer, driving without a license, and possessing an open flask of whiskey in her lavish $215,000 Rolls Royce. The courtroom drama and Gabor's eccentric antics, like spritzing herself with perfume, kept the media buzzing. It was a headline-making spectacle that only someone like Zaja Gabor could pull off. But stay tuned, because the legal roller coaster is far from over. Next on our list at number 29, we have the legendary Mae West, and her tale takes us back to the frisky jazz age of 1927. Number 29, Mae West. Fasten your seatbelts, folks, as we time travel to 1927, the year the legend of Mae West was solidified. In an era known for its friskiness, West pushed the boundaries with her play aptly titled Sex. This jaunty tale of prostitution ended up attracting the wrong kind of attention. On February 9, 1927, after a performance of Sex, Mae West found herself in a real-life drama as officers from the New York Police Department's Municipal Vice Squad raided the production. The entire cast, including West, was rounded up and thrown into black police vans. West's sentence? A stint on Welfare Island, now known as Roosevelt Island in New York City. Legend has it that she even dined with the warden during her stay. Released 2 days early for good behavior, West, ever the charismatic personality, declared that the time spent in jail was worth every ounce of the publicity. In fact, the media attention only served to catapult her career to new heights. She humorously remarked that the only downside was having to wear cotton underwear behind bars. Now, that's what you call turning a sticky situation into a career boost. These stories are just the tip of the iceberg, so stay tuned. Number 28, Abby Lee Miller. Hold on tight as we shimmy our way through the legal tango of Abby Lee Miller. You might recognize her as the formidable dance instructor and television personality from the reality show Dance Moms. But did you know she once faced a legal storm that left her tapping behind bars? In October 2015, Miller found herself in the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. Charged with attempting to conceal a whopping $775,000 of income from her hit Lifetime series and other projects during Chapter 11 bankruptcy proceedings, her dance moves couldn't dodge the law. Allegedly stashing the money in secret bank accounts between 2012 and 2013, Miller pleaded guilty to bankruptcy fraud in June 2016. But that's not all. The legal drama intensified when she was accused of divvying up $120,000, instructing her friends to carry the money in plastic bags in their luggage back in August 2014. A promise to forfeit the money in January followed, but the dance floor wasn't the only place she was making moves. In May 2017, Miller received a sentence of 1 year and 1 day in federal prison, followed by 2 years of supervised release. The verdict also came with a $40,000 fine and orders to pay the $120,000 judgment. As if that wasn't enough, she had to give a DNA sample relating to her felony charge. But in true Abby Lee Miller fashion, she turned adversity into opportunity. She told people that she shed about 100 pounds during her time behind bars and used the experience to earn degrees in personal finance and real estate. Number 27. Heddy Lamar. Now, let's rewind to the glamorous era of the 30s and 40s with the captivating Heddy Lamar. This former film star, known for her exotic Viennese beauty, faced an unexpected plot twist in her life. In a bizarre turn of events, Lamar found herself accused of shoplifting. Yes, you heard this right. This Hollywood icon was apprehended for allegedly swiping $21.48 worth of personal care items from an Eckerd drugstore. Store employees claimed they witnessed Lamar concealing the items in her purse and making a swift exit. The police got involved, and Lamar was charged with shoplifting, a misdemeanor that could have landed her in county jail for up to a year with a $1,000 fine. Number 26. Dorothy McCay. Let's step back into the black and white era of Hollywood glamour with Dorothy McCay, a musical comedy actress whose life took a dramatic turn worthy of a silver screen plot. Dorothy and Hollywood physician Dr. W.J. Sullivan found themselves in the grand jury's spotlight, facing charges of compounding a felony and being accessories after the fact. Their alleged crime? Involvement in a plot to cover up the details surrounding the beating death of Ray Raymond, known as Dorothy's husband, by none other than film actor Paul Kelly. The legal saga didn't end there. A prison sentence ranging from 1 to 3 years was imposed on Dorothy McCay, making the climax of her involvement in the conspiracy to conceal facts about her husband's death. Serving 10 months in jail for withholding evidence, her career took a nosedive. Paul Kelly, the film actor who committed the act, served 25 months for manslaughter. But here's the twist. Upon their release, ex-actress McCay and Kelly tied the knot, creating a Hollywood love story that could rival any script. Number 25. Helen Morgan. Now let's take a look at the jazz-infused world of Helen Morgan, known as the Little Hip Square in jazz circles. Her story takes a tragic turn, proving that sometimes life imitates the somber tunes of a jazz ballad. In 1972, Helen Morgan found herself entangled in a fatal altercation with Lee Morgan, a jazz musician. Known for her apartment being a refuge for struggling musicians, Helen's compassion took a dark turn on that fateful night. An argument with Lee during his show at the popular jazz club Slugs escalated, leading to her shooting him. Lee Morgan bled to death as an ambulance struggled to navigate the heavy snowfall in the city. Helen faced the consequences of her actions, getting arrested and spending a short time behind bars. Released on parole, she returned to her hometown of Wilmington, North Carolina in 1978. Sadly, her life concluded in 1996 due to heart problems, marking the end of a chapter that echoed the melancholic notes of a jazz standard. Number 24. Billie Holiday. Now let's journey back to the golden era of jazz and blues with the legendary Billie Holiday. In 1947, this iconic singer faced a turbulent chapter in her life when she was arrested for a narcotics violation. Despite spending a year in a rehabilitation center, Holiday's struggles with heroin addiction continued to haunt her. Unable to obtain a cabaret license to perform in New York City, she defied the odds and graced the stage at Carnegie Hall just 10 days after her release. Billie persevered, performing in concerts and clubs outside the city, embarking on several tours during her later years. However, the constant battle with heroin took its toll on her once mesmerizing voice, though her technique remained intact. Tragically, Billie Holiday passed away on July 17, 1959 at the age of 44, succumbing to complications from cirrhosis. In a stark depiction of her final moments, she had a mere 70 cents in the bank, with $750 strapped to her leg. As she lay dying in Metropolitan Hospital, having been turned away from another hospital due to her known drug use, her room was raided and she was arrested for illegal narcotics possession. Despite her illness, police kept watch outside her door while she went through withdrawal, a final indignity in a life marked by the authorities' scrutiny for 2 decades. But why was Billie Holiday on their radar in the first place? Number 23. Paula Dean. Fast forward to the 21st century, where the queen of country cooking, Paula Dean, faced a legal storm that stirred controversy and changed the course of her public image. In June 2013, Dean was hit with a lawsuit by a former employee, accusing her of making racist remarks. During a deposition, Dean admitted to using the N-word in the past, further tarnishing her reputation. "But that's not just a word that we use as time has gone on," she said. "Things have changed since the 60s in the South." The case was ultimately dismissed in August, but not before her public image was tanked and many of her business partners, including the Food Network, had run for the hills. Number 22. Martha Stewart. Let's explore the life of the Queen of Homemaking, Martha Stewart. In March 2004, the domestic goddess faced a storm of legal troubles that shook the foundations of her pristine empire. Found guilty of felony charges including conspiracy, obstruction of an agency proceeding, and making false statements to federal investigators, Stewart's world took a tumble. The charges stemmed from her involvement in the 2001 sale of $230,000 in IM Clone Systems Incorporated stock. As the FDA decided not to approve the company's new cancer drug, Stewart's company sold its shares the day before, leading to accusations of insider trading by the SEC. The verdict? A 5-month term in a federal correctional facility, followed by 2 years of supervised release, including 5 months of electronic monitoring. Picture this: the Queen of Homemaking behind bars in a West Virginia women's prison, followed by 5 months under house arrest from October 2004 to August 2005. It was a plot twist that no one saw coming, proving that even the most polished exteriors conceal a multitude of legal woes. Number 21. Lil Kim. Switching gears from homemaking to hip-hop, we find ourselves in the world of Grammy-winning rapper Lil Kim. But this time, the lyrics took a legal turn. Sentenced to a year and a day in prison and fined $50,000 on July 6 in New York, Lil Kim faced the music for lying to a federal grand jury. The charges revolved around a 2001 shootout outside a Manhattan radio station, where Lil Kim tried to shield her friends involved in the incident. Convicted in March on 3 counts of perjury and 1 count of conspiracy, Lil Kim became the first big-name female rapper to serve time behind bars. Facing the possibility of up to 20 years in prison, the artist, born Kimberly Jones, stood before U.S. District Judge Gerald Lynch. Despite her convictions, Lil Kim denied noticing her manager, Damian Butler, and Sweef Jackson, aka Gutta, at the scene of the shootout, both of whom pleaded guilty to gun charges. Number 20. Amy Locane. Our next stop takes us to the tumultuous journey of Melrose Place star Amy Locane. In 2010, she faced a fatal DUI charge that would change the course of her life. Amy's first brush with the law resulted in a 3-year prison sentence on charges of vehicular homicide and assault. However, an appeals court deemed this initial sentence too lenient, paving the way for a second stint behind bars. Amy openly shared her experiences, revealing that her first time in prison served as an unexpected preparation for the second round. In an interview with EW, she reflected on her newfound understanding of prison dynamics, knowing how to navigate and make requests. But amidst this seasoned resilience, Amy harbors a deep fear for the future of her children. "I definitely know what's going on. When I came in last time, I didn't have a clue. I didn't really know how things worked and how you can ask certain officers for things. Prison prepared me for my second go-around," she confessed. The daunting reality that she won't be home until her oldest is 18 and the youngest is 16 weighs heavily on her, making her fearful of being forgotten by her own children. Number 19. Lauryn Hill. Shifting gears from the glitz of Hollywood to the rhythm of the music industry, we encounter the story of singer-songwriter Lauryn Hill. In 2013, Hill faced a legal symphony when she was sentenced to 3 months in prison for tax evasion. The sentence also included 3 months of house arrest, a seemingly sharp contrast to the stages she once graced. On May 6, 2013, Lauryn Hill's journey behind bars began. However, the melody of her sentence was somewhat softened by her release on October 4, 2013, a few days earlier than expected, attributed to her good behavior. The sentencing took into account her lack of prior criminal record and her responsibilities as a mother to 6 minor-aged children. In a forceful statement to the judge, Lauryn Hill explained her intention to eventually pay the taxes, but cited challenges during a period when she withdrew from the music business. This defense echoed sentiments she had previously shared in a heartfelt online post. Number 18. Leona Helmsley. Get ready for the dramatic saga of Leona Helmsley, the infamous Queen of Mean. Leona Helmsley, an American businesswoman with a penchant for flamboyance, earned her title through a reputation for tyrannical behavior. The storm began when unpaid contractors alleged that work on her home had been charged to her company. This led to a federal investigation, and in 1989, Helmsley found herself convicted of federal income tax evasion and other crimes. Initially sentenced to a whopping 16 years, she only served 19 months in prison and 2 months under house arrest. During the trial, a former housekeeper dropped a bombshell, testifying that she heard Helmsley declare, "We don't pay taxes. Only the little people pay taxes." The trial became a spectacle, and Helmsley's larger-than-life persona was on full display. In 2007, the Queen of Mean passed away at the age of 87 from congestive heart failure, leaving behind a legacy marked by legal turmoil and a notorious disdain for taxes. Number 17. Sophia Loren. Our journey takes an international turn as we explore the legal tango of the legendary Sophia Loren. In 1980, the acclaimed actress found herself convicted in absentia of tax evasion. The allegations prompted an appeal, but destiny had other plans for Loren. Sentenced to 30 days in prison, Loren shared a poignant moment from her memoir, recalling the day she had to say goodbye to her sons. "My sons were 14 and 9 when I packed my bags. When they came to say goodbye, I tried to memorize their expressions," she wrote, highlighting the emotional toll of being separated from her children. Despite the hardship, Loren's appeal journeyed through the justice system, and in 1982 she returned to Italy to serve 17 days of her 30-day jail term in a low-security women's prison. The legal battle persisted, and decades later, the Supreme Court finally ruled in Loren's favor, declaring that she should have never been jailed. In Loren's own words, "When it seems there's no longer any hope, it is still possible justice will be done." Number 16. Nicki Minaj. Long before she dazzled the world of her rap prowess, Nicki found herself in a very different predicament. In 2003, while working as a waitress at Red Lobster, Nicki Minaj made headlines for all the wrong reasons when she was arrested for the possession of a weapon with intent to use it. It was a stark contrast to the glamorous image she would later embody as a chart-topping artist. Fast forward to 2001, and Nicki stunned her fans by sharing a vulnerable moment from her past. She bravely posted 2 mugshots from her arrest at the age of 20, sparking a mix of reactions from her followers. Some applauded her courage in sharing such personal details, while others questioned the inspiration behind revisiting a tumultuous chapter of her life. Number 15. Felicity Huffman. Felicity was famously arrested in 2019 as part of a massive operation to stop college admissions fraud. She eventually pleaded guilty and admitted that she paid off people to help get her kids into school. On September 13th, she was sentenced to 14 days in prison at the Federal Correctional Institute in Dublin, California, where she was checked in on October 15th. She was expected to be released on October 27th, but the Federal Bureau of Prisons said in a statement, "Felicity Huffman has been released from the custody of the Bureau of Prisons today, October 25, 2019, per BOP Program Statement 514.36, release of inmates prior to a weekend or legal holiday." Additionally, the actress was also given a year of probation and has to complete 250 hours of community service and pay a $30,000 fine. Number 14. Lori Laughlin. Now, let's dive into the world of Lori Laughlin, the actress best known for her role in Fuller House. But behind the scenes, a real-life drama was unfolding. In March 2019, Laughlin made headlines for all the wrong reasons when she was arrested in connection with a college admission scandal. Allegedly, she paid to have her children recruited to college as part of the crew team, despite them having no experience in rowing. While many other parents involved in the scandal took a plea deal, Laughlin maintained her innocence. But the plot thickened in October 2019 when the United States Department of Justice dropped even more charges related to the scandal. It was alleged that in exchange for bribes, university employees designated the defendants' children as athletic recruits or in other favored admission categories, regardless of their actual abilities. Number 13. Julie Chrisley. Reality TV star Julie Chrisley found herself in a legal storm alongside her husband, Todd Chrisley, known for the show Chrisley Knows Best. Their lives took a dramatic turn when they were sentenced to a combined 19 years in prison for several financial crimes. Julie Chrisley was handed a 7-year sentence for bank fraud and tax evasion, along with an additional 16 months of probation. The couple's troubles began in the summer of 2022 when they were found guilty of financial crimes, including allegations of taking out $30 million in fraudulent bank loans to fund their lavish lifestyle. They were also accused of concealing their reality TV earnings to avoid paying taxes on them. Number 12. Nicole Richie. The outspoken, wisecracking comedic socialite and star of The Simple Life 2003, Nicole Camille Escovedo was born in Berkeley, California on September 21, 1981. She is the adopted daughter of singer Lionel Richie and his then-wife Brenda Harvey, and socialite Paris Hilton's former best friend. In 2002, Nicole was arrested for a nightclub fight she was involved in. Luckily, those charges were dropped, but she was arrested again in 2003 for driving under the influence. She went to rehab and got 3 years of probation. In 2006, she got in trouble again when she entered an exit ramp and began driving the wrong way on the highway. She was sentenced to 4 days in jail, but only served about an hour before being released due to overcrowding. Are y'all catching the pattern here? Number 11. Teresa Giudice. Teresa Giudice is an American television personality best known for starring in The Real Housewives of New Jersey. Besides appearing on the show, Giudice wrote multiple New York Times bestseller cookbooks and was featured on Donald Trump's The Celebrity Apprentice 5 in 2012. In October 2014, Teresa Giudice was sentenced to 15 months behind bars for fraud. She and her husband, Joe Giudice, were charged with misrepresenting their wealth while taking out loans and later lying about their improved financial situation while filing for bankruptcy. The longtime star of The Real Housewives of New Jersey reported to a Connecticut prison in January 2015 and was released 11 months later, 2 days before Christmas 2015. Number 10. Michelle Rodriguez. Mate Michelle Rodriguez was born on July 12, 1978 in San Antonio, Texas, to Carmen Milady Pared Espinal, a housewife, and Rafael Rodriguez Santiago, a U.S. Army soldier. Known for tough chick roles, Michelle is proof that there is a cross between beauty and brawn. Although she has been working since 1999 as an extra in such films as Summer of Sam 1999 and Cradle Will Rock 1999, it only took a magazine ad announcing an open casting call in New York for Michelle to decide to finally step into the spotlight. The role was the female lead. The movie was Girl Fight 2000. Michelle was arrested in 2002 after an altercation with her roommate. The roommate later dropped the charges, but those weren't the last of Michelle's legal woes. In 2004, she spent 48 hours in jail and had to perform community service and complete a 3-month alcohol program and 3 years of probation after pleading no contest to a hit and run, drunk driving, and driving with a suspended license. In 2005, she spent another 5 days in jail after being caught driving under the influence in Hawaii while filming Lost. In 2007, she was sentenced to 180 days in jail for violating probation, but she was released 18 days later due to overcrowding. Number 9. Winona Ryder. The 44-year-old actress, who is best known for her roles in Girl Interrupted, Beetlejuice, and Little Women, was convicted of shoplifting $5,000 worth of designer clothes from Saks Fifth Avenue in Beverly Hills in December 2001. In 2001, Winona was arrested for shoplifting. Looking back on the scenario in 2016, she told Porter magazine, "Psychologically, I must have been at a place where I just wanted to stop. I won't get into what happened, but it wasn't what people think. And it wasn't like the crime of the century, but it allowed me time that I really needed, where I went back to San Francisco and got back into things. I just had other interests, frankly." Number 8. Susan Atkins. One of 5 people convicted for the murder of actress Sharon Tate and others, Atkins was part of Charles Manson's family in the 1960s. Known as Sadie Mae Glutz for most of her time with the Manson family, Atkins confessed to having personally killed the pregnant Sharon Tate and writing the word pig on the front door of the house in Tate's blood. Atkins served nearly 40 years in prison and was denied parole 18 times. She died in 2009. Number 7. Squeaky Fromm. Another Manson family member, Lynette Fram, was never charged in any murder cases, but she was an outspoken supporter of Manson and the family during the Tate LaBianca murder trial. The crime for which Fram was convicted was the attempted assassination of President Gerald Ford in 1975. She escaped from prison in 1987 to try to get to Charles Manson, who she believed had cancer. She was returned to prison and 2 extra years were added to her sentence. She was paroled in 2009. Number 6. Patty Hearst. Patricia Hearst was the granddaughter of newspaper tycoon William Randolph Hearst. In 1974, when she was 19, Hearst was kidnapped by the Symbionese Liberation Army, a radical left-wing group. 2 months after her kidnapping, she was seen armed and participating in a bank robbery with members of the SLA. She later claimed that she had joined the group voluntarily. When she was arrested and tried for armed robbery, she claimed that she had been coerced by brainwashing and sexual and physical abuse. Prosecutors alleged that she had never been kidnapped and had always been a member of the radical group. She was found guilty and sentenced to prison, but President Jimmy Carter commuted her sentence 2 years later, and she was officially pardoned by President Bill Clinton in 2001. Number 5. Juliet Hume. During the winter of 1954, 15-year-old Juliet Hume and her best friend, Pauline Parker, plotted and committed the murder of Parker's mother under the guidance of their best friend, Juliet Hume. They took their victim to a park and bludgeoned her to death with a brick. Both girls were sentenced to be detained at Her Majesty's Palace, which in New Zealand meant imprisoned for an indefinite period of time. Both Hume and Parker were released from prison after serving 5 years. Shortly after the release of Peter Jackson's 1994 movie Heavenly Creatures, that is based on the Hume-Parker murder, the public learned that popular mystery author Anne Perry is in fact Juliet Hume. Number 4. Leela Leads. Arrested with Robert Mitchum on August 31, 1948 for possession of marijuana, she served 60 days in jail and was placed on probation for 5 years. It was predicted that she and Mitchum would never work again, but in fact, Mitchum's career rebounded and he became more popular than ever. Leads, on the other hand, found it difficult to secure roles, and when her finances depleted, she eventually agreed to star in the exploitation film Wild Weed 1949, but it did not reignite her career or decrease her notoriety. She was once engaged to Stephen Crane, but he called it off and sought to distance himself from Leads following her arrest for drug possession. She later claimed that while serving prison time, she was introduced to heroin by other inmates and soon became addicted to the drug. Number 3. Remy Ma. Remy Ma was born on May 3, 1980 in South Bronx, the Bronx, New York City, New York, USA. She is an actress and composer, known for Hustlers 2019, Take the Lead 2006, and Queens 2021. She's been married to Papoose since December 17, 2005. They have 1 child. This female rapper was arrested for allegedly shooting another woman after accusing her of stealing her money. She served 6 years in prison for her crime and was released in 2014. Unfortunately, she's recently been charged with misdemeanor assault for allegedly hitting one of her Love and hip-hop co-stars, so her legal troubles aren't quite over. Number 2. Frances Farmer. As a rising star in the 1930s, the Seattle-born actress Frances Farmer is remembered more for her unfortunate life story than for her once promising career as an actress in the 1930s. Talented and beautiful, Farmer was also willful, troubled, and self-destructive. She was also drinking heavily and becoming increasingly dependent on amphetamines. There's no way of knowing whether she was mentally ill or merely addicted to alcohol and drugs. In any case, her downward spiral accelerated on October 19, 1942, when a policeman in Santa Monica stopped her for driving with her bright headlights on in a wartime dim-out zone. She got into an altercation with the officer, reportedly telling him, "You bore me," and was arrested on charges of drunken driving, driving without a license, and failure to obey dim-out restrictions. She was fined $250 and sentenced to 180 days in jail, suspended. Number 1. Jane Fonda. Even before Grace and Frankie, Jane was an activist. That made her something of a target, which is probably why she ended up arrested for something totally dumb in 1970. Jane was stopped in an Ohio airport following a speaking engagement as an anti-Vietnam War fundraiser in Canada after a security guard wrongly accused her of smuggling drugs. It turns out the drugs were just vitamins. I think they hoped this scandal would cause the college speeches to be canceled and ruin my respectability, Jane wrote in her blog in 2009. I was handcuffed and put in the Cleveland jail, which is when the mugshot was taken. I was released on bond, and months later, after every pill had been tested in a lab with taxpayers' money, the charges were dismissed, and there were a few paragraphs hidden in the back of papers that they were vitamins, not drugs. She did it again, though. At several climate change rallies in Washington, D.C. in 2019, she was intentionally arrested to raise awareness for her cause. Thanks for watching. If you want to keep diving into these fascinating lives of celebrities, check out our playlist right here. And as always, hit subscribe and the notification bell so you never miss a beat. Catch you in the next one.